folks, thank you. Pat here again. Episode 8, would you believe? Time is passing by so fast. And this evening I'm even more colourful than normal because paying tribute to one of my biggest heroes in folk music. He actually invented the long neck banjo by adding 3 frets onto the standard 5 string, and his name is Pete Seeger, of course. And a few pictures of Pete, just to give you a look. You can see he's a nice coloured shirt himself, and so in Pete Seeger style, that's why I'm sort of colourful looking this evening. And I'll be singing some of his songs, or the songs at least he made famous and inspired us all. He and the Weavers and Woody Guthrie and people like that, they shaped the Irish folk music that we know of today, from the Clancy Brothers and Tommy Macon to the Dubliners and on through Planxty, Christy Moore, Johnny McAvoy. All those people, they kind of set the protocol and the format for the music with banjos and guitars and so forth. So a lot of people looked up to Pete and Woody Guthrie for, including people like Bob Dylan. And but anyway, I was singing. I consider myself a folk singer primarily, always have, and I was singing songs from all corners of the globe this evening. But definitely was singing half a dozen or more of songs that Pete made famous and brought to our ears. And people like Bruce Springsteen, of course, was very influenced by Pete Seeger and his Seeger sessions. A lot of the songs given a different treatment, but nonetheless they came from Pete's stable. This song is for Boys Come Rolling Home, for Alan Jones over there in UK, a good friend of ours. We visit UK at least once a year over to Huddersfield to Eagle Music Shop. And Alan Jones has been asking me for this song for weeks, and I'm sorry, Alan, I've got a bit of a rendition together. There's been so many requests, but it's written by Tommy Sands, who ironically was a good personal friend of Pete Seeger. Tommy from up there in the northeast of Ireland, and it's all about Irish guys heading off to America and promising they'd come back together, and it seems like it never happened, but it's a nice uplifting melody for sure. I always will remember well the days we went away, sailing out of Dublin in the morning. Our hopes were on tomorrow as we kissed the girls farewell, and our dreams were on the day of our return. All together. They be dancing, romancing, and evermore we'll roll. They be rolling in the hay, there'll be whiskey in the tay, when the boys come rolling home. We safely reached the other side and near New York town, despite the wind and rain and stormy weather. We all sat down and drank a glass, Welsh each other well, and we said that we'd be going back together. They'd be dancing, romancing, and evermore we'll roll. They'd be rolling in the hay, there'll be whiskey in the tay, when the boys come rolling home. Now Del went up to Boston and Sam to Buffalo, and Pat went down as far as California. I used to get some letters then, but that was long ago, and they always spoke of Ireland in return. All together. They'll be dancing, romancing, and evermore we'll roll. They'll be rolling in the hay, there'll be whiskey in the tay, when the boys come rolling home. Well, I'm well over 80 now, my grandson's by me bed, and here I'm in Chicago still scheming. He says he'll take me back again to rest my weary head, and I leave him with a legacy of dreaming. Well, there be dancing, romancing, and evermore we'll roll. They'll be rolling in the hay, there'll be whiskey in the tay, when the boys come rolling home. There'll be dancing, romancing, and evermore we'll roll. They'll be I'm rolling home. There you go. Speaking of England and speaking of Alan and Huddersfield, we get invited across, myself and Kathleen, every year to a big banjo event, as I mentioned, in Huddersfield in West Yorkshire, in a beautiful place. One of the best music shops, musical instrument shops you'll find in Europe, and they proved it by getting an award year after year. And as it happens, today is the anniversary of the owner, Steve Noon, and his boss, Joan Noon, who happened to be married 50 years today. So hello to Joan and to Steve, Rachel, all the family, and do songs especially for you folks. Folk songs from every corner of the world, of course, and this is one of my favourite English folk songs, written by the legend that is Ralph Mattel. And we remember those people who were homeless, and the next song is written way back in the late 60s and became a hit in the early 70s for Ralph, called The Streets of London, all about the homeless in London, and things are difficult for them, obviously with COVID-19, and but thankfully the weather is reasonable. So sit back, relax, and join in the chorus, and dedicated to Steve and Joan. Happy anniversary to both of you. Here's to many more years of happiness and happy marriage. Seen the old man in the closed down market, kicking off the papers with his worn out shoes. In his eyes you see no pride, and to loosely by his side yesterday's papers telling yesterday's news. So how can you tell me you're lonely? Say for you that the sun don't shine. Let me take you by the hand and lead you through the streets of London. I'll show you something to make you change your mind. Have you seen the old girl who walks the streets of London? In her hair and the clothes all in rags. She's on no time for talking, she just keeps right on walking, carrying her home and to carry her bags. So how can you tell me you're lonely? Say for you that the sun don't shine. So let me take you by the hand and lead you through the streets of London. I'll show you something to make you change your mind. In the all-night cafe at 11:15, same old man sitting there on his own, looking at the world over the rim of his teacup. Each tea lasts an hour, he wanders home alone. So how can you tell me you're lonely? Say for you that the sun don't shine. So let me take you by the hand and lead you through the streets of London. I'll show you something to make you change your mind. Have you seen the old man outside the seaman's mission? ribbons Teddy wears. In her winter city, the rain cries a little pity. One more forgotten hero, the world that doesn't care. Last chance. So how can you tell me you're lonely and say for you that the sun don't shine? So let me take you by the hand and lead you through the streets of London. I'll show you something to make you change your mind. One more time. How can you tell me you're lonely? Say for you that the sun don't shine. Let me take you by the hand and lead you through the streets of London. I'd show you something to make you change your mind. I'll show you something to make you change your mind. Especially for Steve and Joan. Thank you, folks. Hope you're singing along there. And I'd like to shout out to my colleagues on my day job, Cully Automation Limited, including Aoife. I think Aoife is looking in there. So I hope you're all enjoying it and singing along. Get your voices loose. No one can see you. That's the nice thing about being at home, looking at musicians like me, or whatever you want to call me. you won't be caught on camera. I am caught on camera. It's a little bit kind of unusual to be looking at a camera rather than an audience, but I've one advantage because Kathleen is just right behind the camera, so she's the view I can get. She moves sideways. I can see her all almost, and she's been listening to my music for 37 or 8 years, I think, at this stage, and she must have the patience of Job, as they say. And she's behind the camera, folks, so say hi to Kathleen. She won't answer you back because she's kind of busy on the phone is her camera, by the way, but feel free to say hi to Kathleen, and we'll get back to you later on. And thanks again for your support. Hope we're all keeping well. And next song is for a great couple who always support my music in Ballincollig and surrounding areas. That's Dave and Pamela, and Steve, of course, and Teen America as well. So I'll do this one for you. One of the great songs we love singing here in Ireland. And folks, hello to everyone from outside of Ireland as well. I know there's a lot of people in from different countries. And thanks again for supporting the music. This one's called the Galway Shawl. So if you want to waltz around your room, now's your chance. Just don't have a glass in your hand because it's going to be dangerous. You'll be cleaning up the mess after, so you can have a drink after you're finished, okay? Near Oranmore, in the county Galway, one pleasant evening in the month of May, that's me, I spied a damsel. She was fair and handsome, her beauty fairly took my breath away. Comes a horse, she wore no jewels, no costly diamonds, no paint in her powder, no London at all. She wore a bonnet with a ribbon on it, and round her shoulder was a Galway shawl. She kept on talking, and we kept on walking hit the road for old Donegal. She said goodbye, sir. Then she cried and kissed me, but my heart remains with the Galway Shawl. She wore no jewel, no costly diamonds, no paint in her powder, oh no, none at all. She wore a bonnet with a ribbon on it, and round her shoulder was the Galway Shawl, and round her shoulder was the Galway Shawl. Thank you, folks, especially for Pam there, and Dave, thank you so much. Next one is a birthday request for one of Stephen Merrick's neighbours over there, Breda Kerwin, whose birthday was back 29th, is it, Kathleen?
Yeah.
I think 29th of April, so happy birthday, Breda. I've been friends for many years, myself and Kathleen, and her family as well, and I hope you're all doing well over there in Atlish Farm. This one is one of Breda's favourite songs, and mine as well, as a matter of fact, and I sang it, as mentioned before, I sang it a lot in 2016, 100th anniversary of the Easter Rising, and it's a true story of love and patriotism. Joseph Mary Plunkett, Grace Gifford, and the short story is that he was captured after being involved in the 1916 Rising and sentenced to death in Kilmainham Jail in Dublin. And on the eve of his execution, his sweetheart Grace Gifford, she went out, she bought a wedding ring and got permission from the prison to get married. And he was married only hours before his execution. He was shot by firing squad on the 4th of May 1916. Joseph Mary Plunkett and Grace Gifford, and the song is called Grace, written by the O'Mara brothers, immortalised by Jim McCann, and recent times Rod Stewart. And have a listen to this one, folks. It's a very strong, beautiful song. As we gather in the chapel here in old Kilmainham Jail, I think about these past few weeks. Or will they say we failed? From our school days they have told us we must yearn for liberty. Yet all I want in this dark place is to have you here with me. Oh, Grace, just hold me in your arms. Let this moment linger. Then take me out at dawn. I will die. With all my love, I'll place this wedding ring upon your finger. There won't be time to share our love, for we must say goodbye. I know it's hard for you, my love, to ever understand the love I bear for these brave men, the love for this dear land. And when Porrick called me to his side down in the GPO, I had to leave my own sick bed. To him I had to go. Oh, grace, just hold me in your arms. Let this moment linger. Then take me out at dawn. I will die. With all my love, I'll place this wedding ring upon your finger. There won't be time to share our love, for we must say goodbye. As the dawn is breaking, my heart is breaking too. On this May morn, as I walk out, my thoughts will be of you. And I'll write these words upon the wall, so everyone will know I love so much that I could see his blood upon the rose. Oh, grace, just hold me in your arms. Let this moment linger. Then take me out at dawn. I will die. With all my love, I place this wedding ring upon your finger. There won't be time to share our love, for we must say goodbye. There won't be time to share our love, for we must say Thank you. That was for you, Breda, and hope you had a good birthday on the 29th. As isolated as we all are. I never walk so much. Kathy has me out walking once or twice a day, and I lost about half a stone. So you just can see, folks, I'm falling away to nothing. What are you laughing at? Anyway, as I said, we're going to pay tribute to Pete Seeger this evening with some of his songs, and Woody Guthrie was a mentor of Pete's. He was about 10 years older than Pete, and he showed him how to hitchhike and catch a lift on the trains and so forth. So Pete, just as we are conduits of Pete's songs, Pete was a conduit of conduit for Woody's songs, and the one, of course, that we all familiar with Woody Guthrie is "This Land Is Your Land." So, any United States people out there, folks, this is your unofficial anthem. As I was walking this ribbon of highway, I saw above me, and in the skyway I saw below me Golden Valley. This land was made for you and me. Sing it out. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. I roamed and rambled, followed my footsteps to the sparkling sands of your diamond deserts, and all around me the voice was sounding. This land was made for you and me. All together. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. As I I went walking out to wheat fields waving, the dust clouds rolling, the fog was lifting, a voice came chanting, this land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forests to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. As I went walking, I saw a sign there, and on that sign was no trespassing, and on the other side it didn't say nothing. Now that sign was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. This land was made for you and me. Hope you're singing there, folks. Happy birthday to Pete Seeger, who was going, if he was still alive, was celebrating his anniversary of his birthday tomorrow, Sunday. He would have been 101. And I was lucky to meet Pete, and I have his phone number in my phone all the time. And sometimes I call him, he doesn't answer. He hasn't answered me yet. He died, of course, 2014. Myself and my son Ricky were lucky to have met him at his home in 2009 through a mutual friend in Massachusetts, who was originally from New York, and she made the contact, and Pete accepted us with fantastic hospitality, and his wife Toshi as well. And it was just after his 90th birthday, and Ricky, my son Ricky, was 12 at the time, got to shake Pete's hand. I should have taken a photograph of him and Pete together, but I was too excited myself. As you can see, my smile is exceptionally wide. You never catch me smiling like that normally. Do you, Kathleen? Can they see that?
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Oh yeah, you can see it perfectly.
You can see it. Okay, so that's myself and Pete outside Pete's house, Beacon, New York, 2009, and a mentor for many people, including, as I said, a lot of Irish folk groups and singers that came in the 60s folk scare or folk revival, whatever you want to call it. And so Pete, of course, covered, as I said, wrote these songs, but he also wrote some lovely songs as well. And this one is one you definitely are familiar with, called "Where Have All the Flowers Gone," an anti-war song. So let's see you sing this one as well. Where have all the flowers gone? Long time passing. Where have all the flowers gone? Long time ago. Where have all the flowers gone? Young girls pick them, everyone. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn? Where have all the young girls gone? Long time passing. Where have all the young girls gone? Long time ago. Where have all the young girls gone? Gone to young men, everyone. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn? to graveyards, everyone. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn? Where have all the graveyards gone? Long time passing. Where have all the graveyards gone? Long time ago. Where have all the graveyards gone? They're gone to flowers, everyone. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn? All together. But where have all the flowers gone? Long time passing. Where have all the flowers gone? Long time ago. Where have all the flowers gone? Young girls pick them, everyone. When will they ever learn? 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 Happy birthday, Pete. And as I said, 101st anniversary of his birth tomorrow. Okay, next one's called Lonesome Valley. You gotta walk this Lonesome Valley. And every line I sing, you can repeat it if you want, just after me or with me, it doesn't matter. There's a space for repetition, and that was one of Pete's great traits. He just, I can't really do it here because you're not in front of me, but he just would not sing on unless the audience was singing with him. And he had this, sing out, and he had this, you can see it there, let me hear you sing, this kind of thing. So, and so he brought everyone together in song, and forgetting about their troubles and singing in song in hope. And during COVID-19, I think this is an appropriate song. Sometimes some people have got to get through this on their own. It's a lonesome place to be, but there could be light at the end of the tunnel, is what he's saying. You've got to walk this lonesome valley. You gotta walk that lonesome valley. You gotta walk by yourself. Ain't nobody here can walk it for you. You gotta walk it by yourself. Some folks say John was a Baptist. Some folks say he was a Jew. But the Holy Bible tells us that he was preacher too. You gotta walk that lonesome valley. You gotta walk by yourself. Ain't nobody here can walk it for you. You gotta walk by yourself. Daniel was Bible hero. He was a prophet, brave and true, in the den of hungry lions. He showed what fate could do for you. You gotta walk that lonesome valley. You gotta walk by yourself. Ain't nobody here can Hope you're singing along there, folks. Okay, we'll do a couple more Pete songs in this section, and we'll go back to more generic stuff as well, but I think he deserves it. He was 94 years in this world, and brought us so much inspiration, so many songs. And stood up for so many things, you know, environment, pointless need for war, workers' unions, you know, too many things to mention as such, but you should, I'm not going to spend much time preaching to you about Pete, but you should look him up and see how inspirational and his achievements in his life to try and make the world a better place, for sure. Okay, the next one is another one he wrote, and it was several different versions of this brought out. Peter, Paul and Mary were probably one of the big hits with this one called If I Had a Hammer, and this is my version. It's a little closer to Pete's original melody, but as Pete says, if you go and look at some of his videos of this song, it can be sang several ways, but the nice thing about it is that all the different ways harmonise together. If I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning, I'd hammer in the evening, all over this land. I'd hammer out danger, I'd hammer out a warning, I'd hammer out love between my brothers and my sisters. If I had a bell, I'd ring it in the morning, I'd ring it in the morning, ring it in the evening, I'd ring it in the evening, all over this land, all over this land. Ring out danger, I'd ring out danger, ring out a warning, I'd ring out a warning, I'd ring out love, I'd ring out love between my brothers and my sisters. If I had a song, if I had a song, I'd sing it in the morning, I'd sing it in the morning, I'd sing it in the evening, all over this land. I'd sing out danger, sing out a warning, I'd sing out love between my brothers and my sisters. I've got a hammer and I've got a bell and I've got a song to sing all over this land. It's the hammer of justice, it's the bell of freedom, it's the song about love between my brothers and my sisters. If I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning, I'd hammer in the evening, all over this land. I'd hammer out danger, hammer out a warning, I'd hammer out love between my brothers and my sisters. Thank you, Pete, for those wonderful songs. And next one, I think, is a song that pertains a lot to the present situation in the world, and you know, people looking at things from maybe a greedy point of view and almost destroying the planet in the process. And this one was written back in the early 70s by Pete. And Pete, of course, as I was speaking to my friend Rick Kelleher from Vermont this evening, we might go on air tomorrow. I might go on with Rick. We're trying to work it out to commemorate Pete's birthday. But he in the late 60s, early 70s, he eventually, I'm going to be as short as I can, he eventually should look this one up as well, as I'm kind of conscious of people's attention span and stuff like that. But if you look it up, he set out to clean up the Hudson River in the early 70s, and decided to build a sloop, a boat, and called the Clearwater, and for obvious reasons. And it seemed like a crazy thing to do by a lot of people at the time, but he succeeded, got this sloop built, and sailed up and down the river, and eventually he achieved his goal of cleaning up the river, and also it became a platform for education for especially kids, and of course there's a festival there every year, probably not there this year, but every year called the Clearwater Festival, and that's just one of the things he did. Anyway, this song is a beautiful song called Our Rainbow Race, and have a listen to the lyrics, folks. It's got a really nice chorus. If you don't know it already, I'll teach you it. It says, one blue sky above us, one ocean lapping on our shores, one earth so green and round, who could ask for more? And because I love you, I'll give it one more try, to show our rainbow race, it's too soon to die. One blue sky above us, one ocean lapping on our shores, one earth so green and round, one earth so green and round, who could ask for more? Who could ask for more? And because I love you, and because I love you, I'll give it one more try. I'll give it one more try, to show our rainbow race, to show our rainbow race. It's too soon to die, it's too soon to die. Very strong words there. Present time, let's go again. One blue sky above us, one ocean lapping on our shores, one ocean lapping on our shores, one earth so green and round, one earth so green and round. Who could ask for more? Who could ask for more? And because I love you, and because I love you, I'll give it one more try. I'll give it one more try, to show our rainbow race, to show our rainbow race, that it's too soon to die. Some folks want to be like an ostrich, bury their heads in the sand. Some folks hope that plastic dreams can unclench all those greedy hands. Some want to take the easy way, poison and bombs, they think we need them. We can't kill all those unbelievers, there is no shortcut to freedom. One blue sky above us, one blue sky above us, one ocean lapping on our shores, one ocean lapping on our shores, one earth so green and round, one earth so green and round. Who could ask for more? Who could ask for more? And because I love you, and because I love you, I'll give it one more try. I'll give it one more try, to show our rainbow race, to show our rainbow race. It's too soon to die, it's too soon to die. Go tell all the little children, tell their mothers and fathers too. Now's our last chance to learn to share what's been given to me and you. One blue sky above us, one blue sky above us, one ocean lapping on our shores, one ocean lapping on our shores, one earth so green and round, one earth so green and round. Who could ask for more? Who could ask for more? And because I love you, and because I love you, I'll give it one more try. I'll give it one more try, to show a rainbow race, to show a rainbow race, that it's too soon to die. You should know by now. One blue sky above us, ocean lapping on her shores. One earth so green and round, who could ask for more? And because I love you, and because I love you, I'll give it one more try to show rainbow race, to show our rainbow race. It's too soon to die. What a beautiful song. Sentiments are so apt for this particular time. A few Facebook messages there this evening, and they're calling this the present time a time of realization, and let's hope we realize what we've got and try and keep it for the future generations in as good condition as we found it. And so hopefully out of these kind of unprecedented times that there can be something good come out the other end, and there always probably is. Unfortunately, we lost a lot of really nice people, innocent people, we could say, to COVID-19. So we remember those folks and their families, and also those who were very ill with the virus. And that was called a rainbow race. And dedicate that to Virginia Tiger out there in the United States. She's living in California these days, or Virginia. Hope you're enjoying the Pete Seeger section in particular. I know you've a soft spot in your heart for Pete, as we all do. And the next one is going out to Kitty Murphy across the road from us here.
She's listening in and singing in. Kathleen is with her.
Oh, that's great. Hi Kitty, we all love you here next door, and I hope you're enjoying the show this evening. And this one comes a special request from Dolores Casey in New York City, and from all your friends, neighbours and relations, and you've got a lot of those in the world, and so I hope you're enjoying it. And this one is a nice hopeful song, and I hope you'll enjoy it. And don't be afraid to join in, Kitty, or Kate as we know her better as, and she just lives about 150 metres from us. We can almost see her, and Kathleen is with her at the moment.
Yeah, and Kathleen. Some of the family as well. I don't know who else.
This is a nice easy one for you all, folks. I can get this thing tuned, sorry. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Streets, I'm going to let it shine. Up and down the street, I'm going to let it shine. Up and down the street, I'm going to let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Get those torches on the phones. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. I'm going to let it shine, oh yeah. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Here in my hometown, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. Here in my hometown, I'm gonna let it shine. Here in my hometown, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. World, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the world, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the world, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let let it shine. This little light, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Especially for Kitty, and played for a lot of their birthdays, and her husband Timmy as well. And her last one that I played for was her 90th, and so she's in her early 90s now, and we wish her the very best. And that came from Dolores Casey in New York. And hi Dolores, and hope we'll catch you at either side of the Atlantic at some stage in the near future. I know we're supposedly going to America we're supposed to go this August, September. Things are starting to look a little dodgy, but we know that we've got a cruise. I'm playing on a cruise on the 22, is it, Kathleen, is it? Sailing out of San Diego and ending up in Vancouver. So and week Isles next year as well. So so if there's anyone interested in cruising in a couple of years' time to get over this COVID stuff, please private message me and I'll give you the details of what is supposed to be happening. So hopefully things will open up eventually. Anyway, that was, as I said, especially for Kitty, and Kathleen is sitting there watching and suffering my songs. Kathleen, neighbour. Anyway, next one is for kind of neighbours. Well, they were neighbours and they've moved as far away from us as possible, down to Australia. So these are the Anglin girls. We know them best as Kathleen, Mary and Michelle, who are in the Perth area of Australia, and also to their two sisters back home, who are Noreen and Eileen, isn't that right? Am I right in saying that?
Yep.
And also to their mom and dad, Michael and Noreen, up the road. We meet them almost every day when we're walking, and we have a little chat. And so this one is written by a gentleman who's living in Australia since 1969, and it's a beautiful song called A Cocky Farmer, or Now I'm Easy, written by the great Eric Bogle, one of my biggest influences in folk music outside of Ireland for sure. And Eric is living in the Adelaide area of Australia, and I communicate with him on Facebook and email from time to time. And this one is a beautiful song called Now I'm Easy, and we dedicate this, as I said, to Kathleen, Mary and Michelle Anglin, all their family out there in Australia. Hope you're all doing well, and if you don't catch it tonight, if it's a non-early night, what time is it out there, Kathleen? About 5 o'clock in the morning, is it?
I think so, I'm not sure.
Anyway, this one's called Now I'm Easy, and I hope you like it. Back down one pat. It's been a few years since I sang this one. For nearly 60 years I've been a cocky, of droughts and fires and floods I've lived through plenty. This country's dust and mud has seen my tears and blood, but it's nearly over now. Now I'm easy. I married a fine girl when I was 20. She died in giving birth when she was 30. No flying doctors then, just a gentle old black gel but it's nearly over now. Now I'm easy. She left me with 2 sons and a daughter, and a bone-dry farm whose soil cried out for water. Though my care was rough and ready, they grew up fine and steady. But it's nearly over now. Now I'm easy. My daughter married young and went her own way. My sons lie buried by the Burma Railway. On this land I've made my home, I've carried on alone, but it's nearly over now. Now I'm easy. City folks these days despise the cocky, same with subsidies and dole, we've had it easy. There's no droughts or starving stock on our sewered suburban block, but it's nearly over now. Now I'm easy. For nearly 60 years I've been cocky. Droughts and fires and floods I've lived through plenty. This country's dust and mud has seen my tears and blood, but it's nearly over now. Now I'm easy. But it's nearly over now. Now I'm easy. Thank you, folks. That's for all the Hangman crew. Michelle was our babysitter for a while, Kathleen.
She was.
Did a great job, so I hope everything's going, as I say, going great for you and your families out there in Australia. Do a song next for you. Got some great friends, Swiss friends, Shawl and Sylvia. Hope you were looking in. We also got some good musician friends who I think they were born in Germany but grew up in Switzerland. The Kruger brothers. Please look up the Kruger brothers. They're some of the finest musicians in the land, nicest human beings you can find, and just amazing, as I say, musicians. And they're doing a live stream, I think, later tonight. But again, you can watch these streams, you know, at a more sociable hour if necessary. But look them up, the Kruger brothers. And next song in Ireland, we're more familiar with this song, is called Belfast Mill. But the actual origin of the song was written by Cy Can, and it's called Aragon Mill. And obviously the Furies adapted the song and got permission to change the name. But the original song is the Aragon Mill, and that's why I'm keeping it original, is that myself and Kathleen, I'd met Cy Can. He's the writer, Sikahn. He's the writer. I met him in Cork at a Mother Jones festival. He's written a play about Mother Jones, who was a very famous Cork lady. Look her up as well. She'll surprise you how strong a lady she was, and how she's inspired lots of people in the women's liberation movements and unions and stuff like that. And but we met him, as a matter of fact, for a second time at the Kruger Brothers Academy in North Carolina, and he was showing us his first draft of the Mother Jones in Heaven. Kathleen, was that Mother Jones in Heaven? I think was the name of the play. On his laptop, and so the fact that I know the man, I'm going to sing it as it was written. And also dedicated to my friends, the Kruger brothers, Joel, Jens, and UV, and Jody, their percussionist as well, and all the folks that make up the great Kruger brothers and their crew, as I say. And you won't be disappointed, folks, if you hear these boys playing and singing. They're absolutely astounding. But anyway, this one's called Aragon Mill. I hope you like it. And it's about a mill that closed down, and you know the consequences of losing jobs and stuff. At the east end of town, at the foot of the hill, there's a chimney so tall, it's Aragon Mill. There's no smoke at all coming out of the stack, for the mill has shut down and it's never coming back. And the only tune I hear is the sound of the wind as she blows through the town, weaving spin, weaving spin. There's no children playing in the dark and narrow streets, for the mill has shut down. It's so quiet I can't sleep. And the only tune I hear is the sound of the wind as she blows through the town, weaving spin, weaving spin. The mill has shut down, but the only life I know. Tell me where will I go? Tell me where will I go? And the only tune I hear is the sound of the wind as she blows through the town, weaving spin, weaving spin. In the town, at the foot of the hill, there's a chimney so tall, it says Aragon Mill. And there's no smoke at all coming out of the stack, for the mill has shut down and it's never coming back. And the only tune I hear is the sound of the wind as she blows through the town, weaving spin, weaving spin. And the only tune I hear is the sound of the wind as she blows through the town, weaving spin, weaving spin. As she blows through the town, weaving spin. Thank you, folks. Thank you. Hope you like that one. Now, unusually today we have two 50th wedding anniversaries, and they're both UK couples. And mentioned Stephen and Joan Noon earlier. This one is for Eddie Colburn, who was a great folk singer, musician himself, and his wife Cynthia. And this Saturday is their 50th wedding anniversary, so happy anniversary to both of you as well. And if there was no isolation, you could be celebrating it as two couples, maybe, I'm not sure. If you know Steve, I think you know Steve and Joan as well, Eddie. And I know Eddie likes my version of the Dutchman, which is written by an American about a Dutch couple. And for those of you folks who are over 50 out there and still together, like myself and Kathleen, I'm 51 and Kathleen is 50 and a half. And you know, as we get older as couples, we need to look after each other, and especially the ladies should be looking after their husbands. It's shot for this. Only joke. But this is a beautiful song, nonetheless, written by Mike Smith from the United States, and it's about a Dutch couple, and the guy in question is beginning to lose it in many departments that I won't mention. But his lifelong partner, Margaret, still loves him as much as she did when they were young and agile and active, and she does all sorts of wonderful things for him. So Steve Noon, Eddie, and your wives, listen to this advice carefully. And this lady, as I said, Margaret, she used to do all sorts of wonderful things. She used to hold his hand as he walked around the streets of Amsterdam, hold his hand in case he fell and hurt himself. Sometimes he didn't realise she was there. And she sewed love in his clothes. This is one of the nice ones. And one Kathleen began to do for me, she used to put whiskey in his tea in the winter time to make his blood nice and thin and warm. And Kathleen kind of got it arseways around, and she puts a little bit of tea in my whiskey, but I'm not complaining. And some great lyrics in this song, folks, and it's got a beautiful chorus. And this guy was shell-shocked, and as I'm on the subject of Dutch and Holland, I want to say hello to my child and to Edwin and Wayland over there, or we call them the Dutch couple one time, but they've got a child, Wayland, so a Dutch couple on the road. The Dutch couple and Wayland, maybe we'll say. And they usually supply me with the picture for the event every week. They take a photograph of their television in their living room. From our living room to yours. Let us go to the banks of the ocean, where the walls rise above the Zuiderzee. Long ago, I used to be a young man, and dear Margaret remembers that for me, especially for Eddie. The Dutchman's not the kind of man to keep his tongue jammed in the dam that holds his dreams in. That's a secret only Margaret knows. When Amsterdam is golden, in the morning Margaret brings some breakfast she believes in. He thinks the tulips bloom beneath the snow. She's mad as he can be, but Margaret only sees that sometimes she sees her unborn children in his eyes. Let us go to the banks of the ocean, where the walls rise above the Zuiderzee. Long ago, I used to be a young man, and his dear Margaret remembers that for me. The Dutchman still wears wooden shoes, his cap and coat are patched with love that Margaret sewed in. Sometimes he thinks he's still in Rotterdam. He watches tugboats down canals, calls out to them when he thinks he knows the captain. Till Margaret comes to take him home again, through unforgiving streets, to trip him though she holds his hand. Sometimes he thinks he's alone and he calls her name. Let us go to the banks of the ocean. Let us go to the banks of the ocean, where the walls rise above the Zuiderzee, where the walls rise above the Zuiderzee. Long ago I used to be a young man, long ago I used to be a young man, and the dear Margaret remembers that for me. The windmill swirls the winter in, she winds his muffler tighter, they sit in the kitchen. Tea with whiskey keeps away the dew. He sees her for a moment, calls her name, she makes his bed up, singing a song, old love song. So Margaret comes to take him home again. She hums a line or two, they hum together in the night. The Dutchman falls asleep and Margaret blows the candle out. Let's go to the banks of the ocean. Let us go to the banks of the ocean, where the walls rise above the Zuyder Zee. Long ago, I used to be a young man, and dear Margaret remembers that for me. One more time. Let us go to the banks of the ocean, where the walls rise above the Zuyder Zee. Long ago, I used to be a young man, and dear Margaret remembers that for me. Especially for Eddie and Cynthia, and I'm just thinking as well, there's a lovely lady we met in Huddersfield as well this year, called Gail Skidmore, and to my knowledge she's living in Holland. So Gail is a fantastic musician. She plays some banjo as well, and one thing I noticed was her singing delivery was superb, and her voice was so pure and meaningful, soulful, and I don't mean not saying that for the sake of saying it. So Gail, if you're looking in, really enjoyed your set in Huddersfield. It was stunning. I hope we'll meet again sometime. Okay folks, what time are we doing, Kathleen? Gone on too long? Not too bad? 10 minutes more, be okay? Yeah. Okay folks, and as I said, Pete Seeger's birthday is tomorrow. It's on the first anniversary of his birthday. And I'd like to say hello to Tom Reisdorf, lives in Virginia, and we've met a few times at my gigs in Foley's Kenmare. I was hoping to meet him in August, September, but it doesn't look like it at this stage. And, okay, I'm going to do a Cork song next. Most of you know Cork songs are the best songs. Kerry songs come a close second. This is about some cider that was stored in whiskey barrels, and the cider kind of extracted some of the whiskey from the barrels and made it very strong with magic powers. And Corkonians will recognise the different places, the undertakers' names, and the Madhouse in Cork by the Lee was an asylum that thankfully has been closed down in the last 20 or 30 years. Anyway, it's called Johnny Jump Up. Was the concoction that was the result of whiskey and cider being mixed together, and it had, as you'll hear the lyrics, you'll hear some of the amazing things it can do. I'll tell you a story that happened to me. One day as I went down to Galway to sea, the sun that was bright and the day it was warm, says I quite pints wouldn't do me no harm. I went in and I called for a bottle of stout, says the barman, I'm sorry all the beer is sold out. Try whiskey or paddy, 10 years in the wood, says I'll try cider, I heard that it's good. Here comes the chorus. Oh never, oh never, oh never again, if I lived to 100 or 110. I fell to the ground and I couldn't get Johnny jump up. After lowering a quart, I made straight for the yard, where I bumped into Brophy, the big civic guard. Come here to me, boy, don't you know I'm the law? I up with me fist and I shattered his jaw. When he fell to the ground with his knees doubled up, but it wasn't I hit him, 'twas Johnny jump up. The next thing I saw down in Youghal by the sea was a cripple on crutches, and says he to me, I'm afraid of my life, I'll be hit by a car. Won't you help me across to the railwayman's bar? After lowering a quart of the cider so sweet, he threw down his crutches and danced on his feet. Oh never, oh never, oh never, oh never, oh never again. If I get to 100 or 110, I fell to the ground and I couldn't get up, after drinking a quart of the Johnny jump up. Well, I went up the Lee Road of Renford to see, they call it the madhouse in Cork by the Bee. And when I got up there, the truth I do tell, they had the poor bugger locked up in the cell. Says the guard testing him, say these words if you can. Around the rugged rock, the ragged rascal ran. Tell them I'm not crazy, tell him I'm not mad, it was only a drop of the bottle I had. When a man died in the Union by the name of MacNab, he washed and they laid him outside on the slab. And after O'Connor his measurements to take, his wife took him home to a bloody fine way. It was about 12 o'clock and the beer it was high. The corpse he sat up and said he with a sigh, I can't get to heaven, they won't let me up, till I bring them a barrel of the Johnny jump up. All together. Oh never, oh never, oh never again. If I get to 100 or 110, I fell to the ground and I couldn't get up, after drinking a quart of the Johnny jump up. Thank you, folks. Thank you very much. I got to do a Kerry song now for my friends in Kerry. I've got a lot of friends in Kerry, and I thought I had it printed out, Kathleen. But anyway, never learned it. I did never print it.
Do you want that's the?
I'll get the Eamon's one there, yeah. So this is especially for Eamon Kerwin and his lovely wife Miriam, and also for John Collins in Tralee. And unfortunately this year the Rose of Tralee is a very famous festival, and I have to move it up a bit closer. I had it printed out bigger because I didn't learn it entirely. I had the first verse or so off, but I'm sorry, Eamon, for not putting in the effort required. I'll make it up to you some other time. But the Rose of Tralee Festival has been on since I think the early 60s or maybe the 50s, I'm not sure. This is actually the first time, to my knowledge, in its history that it has been cancelled. And it's a great festival. Myself and Kathleen used to go to it a lot when we were younger. As a matter of fact, the last time I saw Luke Kelly, my hero alive, was 1982, I think, at the Rose of Tralee Festival. And I should have went and spoken to him, but at least Kathleen did. The pale moon was rising above the green mountain. The sun was declining beneath the blue sea, when I strayed with my love o'er the pure crystal fountain that stands in the beautiful vale of Tralee. All together. She She was lovely and fair, like a rose of the summer. It was not her beauty alone that won me. Oh no, 'twas the truth in her eyes, they were dawning, that made me love Mary, the Rose of Tralee. The cool shades of evening, their mantles were spreading, and Mary, all smiling, sat listening to me. The moon through the valley, her pale rays were shining, when I won the heart of the Rose of Tralee. All together. She was lovely and fair, like a rose of the summer. It was not her beauty alone that won me. Oh no, 'twas the truth in her eyes, they were dawning, that made me love Mary, the Rose of Tralee. And again, all together. She was lovely and fair, like a rose of the summer. It was not her beauty alone that won me. Oh no, 'twas the truth in her eyes, they were dawning, that made me love Mary, the Rose of Tralee. For all our Kerry friends, folks, and I'm trying to think of the two of my girls' birthdays today in Kelleher. Can you remember her name?
Chris's daughter.
Yeah.
I should know it.
I should know it as well, so we wish her the best. Chris knows, and Tim, who we were talking about. And of course I play a lot in Kerry in the summertime, Foley's in Kelleher, because they don't have very good musicians down in Kerry, so they tend to hire Cork musicians. But we won't hold that against them. It helps us make a living. And that was especially for Eamon Kerwin and his wife Miriam, and for John Collins and Tralee, and all our friends in Kerry. And we got neighbours from Kerry as well who shall remain nameless for this evening, unless they want their names mentioned. We can mention them next week. And folks, thanks for tuning in this evening. Hope you're all enjoyed yourselves, and thanks for the requests, and thanks for all the greetings from around the world. We appreciate it very much. And thanks to Kathleen. Give Kathleen a round of applause, a silent round of applause in your living rooms, or all these emojis you can send on. And as my friend Rick Pelleri from Vermont was saying today, where would we be without our ladies? And that's very true. And I want you all to keep safe and do what we're supposed to do for the next few weeks. And in Ireland, this weekend is what we call a bank holiday weekend, and so that means there's no work, but some people have no work anyway at the moment. So enjoy yourselves, be safe, and have fun in so much as you can. And this is God's Counting on You, God's Counting on Me, which again was brought out by Pete Seeger, the guy we're paying homage to this evening. And happy birthday, Pete, once again, 101st birthday. And it was so privileged to have met him, and as I said, he influenced many folk singers in Ireland and all over the world. And when we look and we see things are not what they should be, God's counting on me, God's counting on you. When we look and we see things are not what they should be. God's counting on me. God's counting on you altogether. Hoping we'll all pull through. Hoping we'll all pull through. Hoping we'll all pull through. Me and you. It's time to turn things around. Trickle up, not trickle down. God's counting on me. God's counting on you. It's time to turn things around. Trickle up, not trickle down. God's counting on me. God's counting on you. Altogether. Hoping we'll all pull through. Hoping we'll all pull through. Hoping we'll all pull through. Me and you. What we do now, you and me, will affect eternity. God's counting on me. God's counting on you. What we do now, you and me, will affect eternity. God's counting on me. God's counting on you. Altogether. Hoping we'll all pull through. Hoping we'll all pull through. Hoping we'll all pull through. Me and you. Yes, there's big problems to be solved. Let's get everyone involved. God's counting on me. God's counting on you. Yes, there's big problems to be solved. Let's get everyone involved. God's counting on me. God's counting on you. Hoping we'll all pull through. Hoping we'll all pull through. Hoping we'll all pull through. Me and you. Don't give up, don't give in. Working together we all can win. God's counting on me. God's counting on you. Now don't give up, don't give in. Working together we all can win. God's counting on me. God's counting on you. Hoping we'll all pull through. Hoping we'll all pull through. Hoping we'll all pull through. Me and you. And when we sing with younger folks, we can never give up hope. God's counting on me. God's counting on you. And when we sing with younger folks, we can never give up hope. God's counting on me. God's counting on you. Hoping we'll all pull through. Hoping we'll all pull through. Hoping we'll all pull through. Me and you. Hoping we'll all pull through. Hoping we'll all pull through. Hoping we'll all pull through. Me and you. I feel like singing one more Pete song, and I will leave you for next week, folks. And I hope I didn't drag it out too much, but I think this man lived so long, he deserves to be credited for his contribution. And this one, A Bid You Goodnight With, it was a big hit for him and the Weavers in the American charts. And it's an apt song for the ending of a night. It says good night, Irene, good night. And I'll leave you with this one, folks, until next week. Anything I'm forgetting to mention, Kathleen?
I don't think so, no.
If you've got requests, try and get them in early, because both our phones are in use during the live broadcast. Do my best, especially songs that I do know already. I'll do for you, no problem. Irene, good night, Irene. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Last Saturday night I got married. Me and my wife settled down. Now me and my wife, we are parted. I go to take a little stroll around town. Sometimes I do get a strange notion that I'll jump in the river and drown altogether. Irene, good night, Irene. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Big shout out as well to my daughter Emma and Kevin. Hope you're enjoying it as well. And see you tomorrow, hopefully, on cyberspace. Stop your rambling. Stop your gambling. Stop staying out late at night. Go home to your wife and your families and sit by the fireside right all together. Irene, good night, Irene. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Like a brother. Irene, good night, Irene. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dream. One more time. Irene, good night, Irene. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. See you folks, and don't forget the Kruger Brothers. If you're willing to stay up at midnight here tonight, they do a 3/4 of an hour or an hour show from Wilkesboro, North Carolina. So folks, until I see you next week, be safe, be good, and thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. And thank you, Kathleen, and all the family here as well. Thanks. Good night.